Boom, 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 boom. What's up, my one-hoes? Hope you guys are all well. Hope this video finds you guys in good spirits. And I want to actually talk about merch quickly. So much people have requested merch. So much people have been like, oh, where can I grab a t-shirt? Where can I grab a hoodie? Those stuff will be available on the marketplace very soon. I'm currently working on designs as we speak. So yeah, just be patient with me. There will be stock orders, so the first drop will have 50 pieces, couple t-shirts, couple hoodies, tracksuits, bits and bobs like that. And then once those have sold out, we'll start talking about the second drop and all those good stuff. I wanted to just do a quick video, quick. I'm gonna try and fly through this. Probably possibly my fastest like loadout look through that I've done to date. The only reason I'm really doing it is because I saw several people at a site on Sunday that we went to, and everybody was just like, every time I see your loadout's different. And it's like, I really want people to understand it's the journey, and I'm really showcasing the average journey that somebody would go through if they're kind of like me, where they love airsoft, but they want tools that work for them. So I've made adaptations. By the point you're seeing this video, you've probably seen another video come out a few weeks prior, talking over things like what my loadout was at the time. It's essentially the same thing, just a few minor changes, because I was having a few issues with a few of the pieces, so I had to make adaptations, add a gun or two here in, and change some internal parts. So I'm going to start basics and then work my way upwards. So we're going to start with my indoor or CQB loadout, even outdoor CQB. I tend to bring this stuff out. So yeah, we're going to start with my secondary. I call it my secondary. It is a main gun. So if I'm trying to, say that day in CQB, so this is my CQB loadout. Say that day in CQB, I'm trying to play pistols. I want to really be able to tuck corners quick, switch positions really quick. I want to run about, stuff like that. I tend to bring this bad boy out. It's reliable. It's fully upgraded. It's a Glock 19, Glock 17, sorry, man said 19. Glock 17 Gen 5 from WE. It's their WET edition. That is the base frame that I've used, which is why it's got this lower. It's why the upper looks how it looks and is actually metal. But essentially everything in there I've upgraded and changed. So the parts I've changed to steel parts in the lower, just to allow it to be able to take a bit more beat up. I've got the Gen 5 green nozzle. I've got the Gen 5 housing. The hop up is stock. The bucking is a VSR 10 red, which I'll show you in a sec. The spring is I'm not sure if it's going to show up well on the camera, but it's a Waldo rainbow effect. It's like a silver, gold, purple effect thing. I don't know if you can see it as I'm turning the camera. It's their basic, I think it's their 150, no, it's their 200, sorry, their 200, Waldo 200 upgrade spring. The barrel is from the internal barrel is from a WE Galaxy, just because I feel like that barrel compared to the stock barrel that comes in this is so much more accurate. Like when I'm running this outdoors, I easily get 25-30 meters, and for an indoor gun that is really cool. Do you know what I'm saying? I've even got a bit more, but it's not accurate because it's a Glock. It's like I'm shooting at you from 40 meters away. The shots are not as accurate as you'd like them to be. However, you will hit, like you will definitely hit a man-sized target. So yeah, so that's what I use as my indoors pistol. Some may say to me, why have I gone for a Glock? Because they don't tend to be reliable guns, but what I found is because I've done so much to this and I've stress tested it and I've worn it in, it works. So every time I'm about to sell it to somebody, I think about the price I'm selling it for, and I'm like, there's just no point, because this is the first actual Glock I've got to fully work start to finish, apart from my original purchase, and that was because every month I'd be doing something to it. So the gun was never in one state for too long that something would go wrong and actually stay wrong, if that makes sense. Obviously I always like to have a stock mag, so I've got a WE, I believe it's 23 rounds this mag holds, 23 rounder. I keep that just in case I want to say I'm running it as a secondary, then yeah, that's where the gas mag comes in. Or say I just want to cycle, I keep a gas mag more for cycling testing. Like when I do a repair, I might want to run the mag through gas just to make sure the gun's cycling before I run it through HPA, because HPA has no lubrication at all in it. So that's why I keep a 23 rounder. And then how I tend to run the gun is like this, with an MP5 mag attached to it, running it through HPA at about 120 psi. And to be fair, when I first built this bad boy, it wouldn't cycle and end up back in battery with anything under 200 psi, and the gun stayed like that for maybe about a month. But I noticed maybe about a month and a half in, I took the gun out randomly. It was so random because I wasn't even meant to bring the gun out that day, but I just brought the gun out just as a backup, and I ended up having the tank set at about 100, I think it was 100 or 120 psi, and I was able to cycle the whole session for about 5 games, no problems with the gun. So on the way home, I was sitting in the car thinking, what the hell? Like what happened? But I think where I had worn the gun in at 200 psi, it had loosened up parts and worn away things in the upper that I didn't want to be there. So now the upper was cycling as intended. Also, you do want to keep that Gen 5 nozzle heavily lubricated every single game. That is something I lubricate, because Glocks are just known for those things drying out, and when they dry out, they don't cycle very well. That's one thing where I will always say a high capper over a Glock. But nostalgic vibes, I'm telling you. Like Glocks are, I don't know, man, Glocks were my first ever gun that I fell in love with. So for me, there's no way I could be such a devoted airsoft player and not have one in the loadout, at least one. So, and likely this will probably be the only one. God, the auto function, I just don't feel like the auto function is efficient enough on any of the automatic Glocks I've seen to justify having it as a weapon in automatic. Do you get what I'm saying? It's like after 2 or 3 shots, you can literally see the slide slow down and everything struggling to make it back. And even on HP, it's like, unless you're running it 150 psi above, it's just not efficient. Like, it's genuinely not. I've seen people do this and break Glocks just trying to get them to keep up. So it's why I've gone for semi. Plus, it's so accurate that once you take that shot and trust me, gameplay will say, well, I'll be playing a lot with this because it is my main CQB gun. It's the first go-to before I think about anything else. So that's what that is. Lovely little gun, and it's a nice weight, and because it's got the metal upper, yeah, everything just feels nice. I'm not gonna lie to you, probably one of the nicest Glocks I've held, and I'm not saying it because it's mine. I'm saying it because it just works. Like, it works and it works and it works. VSR 10 red bucking, so essentially has sniper bucking in a pistol, which is why I believe it's so accurate, 30-40 meters comfortably. But like I said, I use it for indoors, which gives me the ability that if I can shoot 30 meters comfortably and I'm playing indoors with this, I know if I aim at you and I aim properly and I don't allow that recoil to do too much to my shot, trust me, you're definitely getting hit. Like when I do, one thing I will say is when I play with this, I tend to get a lot more kills than my average indoor session, so it's why it remains in the loadout. I should keep a kill cam or a kill score of how many kills I get with each gun, but it would be so hard to keep up because I play indoors, I play outdoors. There's so many different guns in my loadout, and for the last year and a half I've just been going back and forth, changing things out, upgrading things, just seeing if they were worth keeping, because essentially what I wanted to do was get to a stage where I didn't have to buy any more guns, and I had an indoor loadout and I had an outdoor loadout, and I was set. Do you know what I'm saying? Whatever else I needed kit wise. Then we're gonna move over to a quick section of accessories. I tend to run a grenade indoors. I just feel like they're so useful. Indoors you have many games where your opposition team is camping a specific spot, and at somewhere like Future Survival, if you've played there, you'll know what I mean. Like the stairs and the ramp, these places are places that they'll camp out, and it just gets to a stage where you can't do anything. You're just walking up the stairs getting killed, walking up the ramp getting shot at, you can't move, you're just stuck, or they camp out the top floor and you can't move. So I find with a grenade, if say there's 3 of us and I say press, and say I'm in the middle, the first guy might get shot, but by the time I've thrown the grenade, the guy who shot the first guy gets blown up, plus anyone around him, and then I and the guy behind me have a chance to press that area. So any camping sessions, I'm actually considering buying about 10 grenades for the same reason. Like, grenades in CQB is a must. Like, yeah, now I'm thinking about it, I think I will go and maybe look into like 5-6 cheap grenades, because they're just handy. Like, they're so handy, especially for clearing areas, especially if you've got multiple on you. Because there's times that you've chucked one and they're like, yeah, he's out of grenades, and then you go through and you chuck 2 or 3 more and they're like, what the hell? They're just not prepared for it because they did not expect you to have multiple grenades. So yeah, invest. Even me, now I'm thinking about it, I'm gonna have to look online, because I feel like everybody's charging too much for shit versions of these, whereas even this one I paid like 15 quid for. If it was cheaper, like say a tenner, I'd have probably bought 4 of them. But and to be honest, 15 quid ain't bad, cause most of the ones I'm seeing, they're like 25 quid each grenade. You have to spend £100 if you want 4. So, and because they're plastic, it just doesn't feel like it's worth the buy. And if you notice, this has even broken, and this is probably the best plastic grenade I've had to date, and this is even getting smashed up. The bottom got smashed up. So, but invest, they're worth investing in. So that's maybe something we'll be talking over the next few months, where I will slow down on gun purchases, where my loadouts are sorted. You'll see a lot more things like accessories and stuff like that on the channel. So grenades is a must for indoors or outdoors, but yeah, buy heavier duty ones than this. Then my main gun, or my main rifle, so I try to have, like, in every loadout I try to have 1 main pistol, 1 main rifle, yeah. And then if there's any extras, it's normally for specific scenarios. Like, say there's a site that only a specific style weapon works for me, like a shotgun for example, I might have a shotgun. But this is my main rifle from CQB, so main pistol, main rifle. It essentially is just a high capper inside of a carbine, 3D printed carbine kit. I have spoke a lot about this prior, so I'm literally just gonna fly through the internals, talk about the setup, and then move on, because we've already seen this one. I've only made a few adjustments to things. So what I've got is a SSP2 lower. I went for that one because the hammer is so amazing. Every time I shoot this gun, people are always spinning their head and like, what the hell are you shooting? The gun is so loud, the gun is so accurate, the hammer makes you feel like every time you shoot that gun, it feels like it's just a nice blowback experience, essentially, why I went for the SSP2 lower. The uppers from a Titan 7 from Vosk. All the internals have been changed though, so upgraded housing, upgraded nozzle, which I believe is a SSP2 nozzle and housing, because they host 2 springs rather than 1. And any of you guys who are techs will know about the difference in the amount of springs that you have. Returning that nozzle will know 2. Your nozzle is always going to return 1. It's a bit subjective to depending on how strong your spring is, how much beat wear and tear, how much maintenance you put down. And you know, I'll do it eventually. I'm going to do a video on maintenance on GBBs, because I have a lot of mates who have GBBs, and it does kind of piss me off. I love them, but it does kind of piss me off because they still haven't understood the concept that you can't own a gas blowback gun and not want to maintain it. It's not an electric gun. It's not electric M4 that you just wipe the water off if it's been a rainy day and just pack it back in the bag and charge some batteries. Like, these things actually have mechanical moving parts that have to be maintained, or else you're just going to mess up your gun and have to buy parts for it, or buy a new gun. But anyways, I'm not going to sit here and moan about it. The rest of the internals, upper, I've got a Novrich 5.1 barrel. No, that's a lie, I took that out recently. I've got a high capper 5.1 barrel in there, which works beautifully. It's the barrel from the SSP2, but I'm running a purple Novrich GBB bucking, so the thing is accurate as hell, even though it's a SSP2 barrel. But I feel like the 2 matched together is really well anyway. Like, I did want the black in a barrel thing that comes from the SSP5 barrel, but I was just having issues because I had a 4.8 barrel in here from a high capper, and it was so accurate, but every 3 or 4 shots would deviate, and I didn't like the deviation, and I couldn't find exactly what was causing the deviation. So I kind of just put it down to the gun didn't like the barrel. But yeah, story for another day. What else? And then I believe that's just the gun itself. I have put a SSP2 muzzle front cover thing on there, so anyone who's seen the gun outside of a kit might ask, if it's a Titan 7, why does it have the front of a SSP2 as opposed to the Titan 7? It's again me customing the gun. I did want it to be a one-of-one specifically for me. Plus I wanted the ability that when people saw the gun, they were like, what the hell is that? Because it looks like multiple guns, because that's what it is. I put a muzzle flash hider thing from an M4 platform that's been sprayed with a marble effect, and then again stock 3D printed kit, which I got the file from online, from a company called XAHQ. Their designs are pretty good, to be fair. Some have issues, because with this, why I've got elastic bands around it is because the rail didn't print very well, but I have printed the same kit for other clients that I built guns for, and the rail does print okay, so it's hit and miss. But I've kept the kit because I love it. It gives you, like I said, like having the ability to shoulder a weapon is so lovely in CQB, because it's nice having the freedom of a pistol, but it's also nice having the control of the ability to aim down sight and have a red dot supporting your shots type thing. So yeah, changes I've made since you guys have seen it. I've put back a flashlight on the side. I feel like it's nice having a flashlight when I need to clear areas, or I've dropped a mag and need to find it, or when I need to find a grenade that I've chucked and I don't want to step on it, or even just for things like being sure that we've cleared an area, because in dark sites you might go for an area and somebody's just chilling in the corner in darkness waiting for you to walk past so they can shoot you. So if you clear that area, or if you shoot that area or shoot an opponent in the area and then you kind of flash your light in the corner, it gives you the ability to see. And because this gun is so accurate, it's like it would be easy to just shine, shoot and not really have much stress. The flashlight also has multiple functions, so it does that as well. So if I'm in a back and forth with somebody and I really want to make their life hard, so I can see them but they can't see me, that's where this bad boy flashing effect comes in. I've also added a attachment so that I can stick this on a sling, and the only other thing I can really talk about is I've recently gone over to a CTM M4 style adapter. I just like running mid caps with gas blowback platforms, so it was just needed. Plus the MP5, it was nice, but it just had problems, let's just put it that way. Loading the MP5 mags issues because adapter fittings and all these things, and then I just find that it feels nicer. The M4, oh, there was BBs in it, imagine. Oh no, it's the BBs from the adapter. Bugging, absolutely bugging. But yeah, I don't know, man. I really like the M4 style. I just feel like it feels better, it looks better, and because a lot of the Odins or the WE speed loaders, they fit M4s much better. So it's like you're gonna have a lot more options in terms of accessories and accessory support. So it's why I went for the M4, even though I've still got my MP5 adapters and my MP5 mags for this platform. I have changed where the elastic bands are seating, because I had an issue where after about 3-4k rounds, because obviously the gun is just floating, it's not stuck on the rail like it should be, the gun would now adjust in terms of its angle inside the kit, so that was stopping the slide from returning. So again, I'm trialing different elastic band setups so that I can have the gun secure like this, where the gun won't move, but loose enough that if I ever have any cycle issues, they can be corrected without me having to pull it outside of the kit. Because for example, I can put the gun into safety, I can take it off safety and fire the gun. And that hammer, bro, fucking hell. Because even now, like, there's no gas or anything in there, but I could literally just feel the force that just went through the gun and me just releasing the hammer. Like, the hammer is crazy. But yeah, flip that back into safety. It's just nice. Like, I just feel like you know, when you dream of something, when I think about when I first started playing airsoft, if you guys watch the early videos, I went through a lot of pistol, and essentially what I was trying to build is something like this, something that looks cool, shoots amazing, is light as hell, and it's kind of like a one-of-one piece. Like, you're never really gonna see anything else like this unless I built it for the person, or they're kind of inspired by me, or something inspired by something similar that I am inspired by. So yeah, and then I don't think there's much more to say. Like, obviously all the red dot protector, yeah, like, she just works. Like, to be fair, I fixed her, and I probably put maybe another like 500-600 rounds through her, maybe a bit less, maybe 200-300 rounds through her, and she's been fine. So it's why I'm currently running her as my indoor, well, CQB rifle, CQB pistol, and then, like I said, similar to the Glock, I always like to have a high capper mag on hand, because you don't always want to pull out the tank kind of wire to test something. Let's say I'm correcting the issue, the gun wasn't cycling. Sometimes it's nice to just have a gas mag on deck. Plus, sometimes the gas PSI, the first 2-3 shots, is higher than the PSI that your tank is set at. So this gives you the ability to understand the gradual decrease in like the decrease in gas, whether that affects the performance of the gun. So it's why I like having both, because some people swear, oh, only test your gun on the power source you use, and it's like, well, you'll never know. Let's say the gun, like that day, the environment's mad cold, or the environment's mad hot, you haven't been able to see the weapon perform in different scenarios. So this is why sometimes you see a guy who's built a gun at home, comes to the site, plays 2 games, and then is stressed out at the gun for the rest of the day because he hasn't stress tested the gun correctly. Which is why I always keep these bad boys and keep them in good health, because it gives me the ability that I can test my tank maybe the night before the game, just to make sure I'm fine-tuning, because that's what I'm going to be running. But 2-3 days before, when I'm organizing my loadout that I'm going to take, I'm going to cycle one of these, because again, like I said, I get to see the gun operate on low PSI because the mag might be running low, or get to see it operate mad high because I've just filled the mag with gas. I get to see it go through the process because I've cycled 2 of the mags before refilling and stuff like that. So I would swear by that. So yeah, that's essentially my indoor loadout. A high capper custom in the kit, a Glock custom on MP5 mag. Yeah, and that's that, peeps. I'm gonna move over to the outdoor loadout now. What's up, peoples? I'm actually bugging. I forgot to talk about tracers. I'm gonna do this so brief. So I have 2 go-to tracers for CQB. I have what is this called? I think it's called the Nano, the T238 Nano. It's so small, it's so effective. It has no muzzle flash, but it takes Type-C charging, but it's effective if you just want to lighten up your BB and see where the tracer BB is going. Perfect little thing. It has no buttons though. That is the one flaw I feel like they failed when they built this. It's a shake effect, so you shake it and then you'll see it start flashing green, and that basically means it's active, and then it will keep flashing green to let you know it's alive and active. And then after, I think it's after 20 minutes, it switches off if there's no movement. So it basically operates on movement. That's a good and a bad thing, because I found that there's times I've charged this, chucked it in my case, gone to the game, and because it's in the game, it's in my bag rattling around, by the time I've gone to the game to start playing and chucked it on a gun, it's not firing, and it's because it's been in the bag rattling around, turned on. So keep that in mind if you are trying to buy something like this, which is why I went for something like this as a backup, because this is basically the Storm, I believe this is called, from the same company, T238. Love this thing, beautiful thing. It came in full silver. I put not Teflon tape, what's the thing called, carbon fiber tape, I believe it is. I put carbon fiber tape because I wanted it black. It has muzzle flash, it has the tracer effect, it has muzzle flash by itself, it has tracer and muzzle flash, and it has tracer by itself. Beautiful investment, therefore worth the money. Only thing is, it's a lot more bulkier, or a little more bulkier than the Nano. So if you've got a small style pistol, or you're going for more the discreet thing, you probably want to go for a Nano. That's why I keep the Nano, because it kind of fits on anything, and you almost don't realize it's there because it's so small. Whereas with the Storm, it's so massive on the front of a gun that it's like you're very aware it's there. It's almost like a muzzle flash cover basically. But yeah, again, these are things I'll show you how they work in actual gameplay, because using them right now, it just isn't gonna give you the full-blown effect. So yeah, just look out for on game days, because I'll talk about it and say, oh, I'm gonna be using this today, I'm gonna be using that today, whatnot, giving feedback. All right, and we out.
Hate me, the girls got me on replay. Now my numbers be climbing, I keep it steady grinding. Claim they got my back, I dropped my music support, never found it. God the greatest, my kids returned back home. I nearly lost my mind, but that ish gave me backbone. Through their absence, I learnt about Job, patience.